So welcome back to Silverstone, round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship. I'm Nick Harris, alongside me Matt Burt, down in pit lane, Dylan Gray.
Front row, Cal, Crutchlow, Valentino Rossi, Maverick Vinales, all on that hard and medium tyre combination. Row 2, Pedrosa, Marquez and Laverty. Different tyre choices throughout those first two rows.
Third row of the grid, Redding, Iannone and Lorenzo. Fourth row of the grid, Dovizioso, Alessia Spargaro and the battered and bruised Jack Miller.
Row 5, headed by Loris Baz, Danilo Petrucci and Pol Espargaro. Row 6, the brilliant stand-in Alex Lowes in 16th ahead of Stefan Bradl and Hector Barbera. Row 7, Alvaro Bautista, Yoni Hernandez and Marc BDS rider Tito Rabat, the former Moto2 winner here at Silverstone.
Tyres have been decided. No changing now. One more sighting lap and round 12 of the championship will be underway.
Well, Nick, it's really interesting, the tyre choices in this race, because Cal Crutchlow, Valentino Rossi and Maverick Vinales, the only three on the first three rows to have gone for that hard option Michelin front tyre. Everybody else behind them, Pedrosa, Marquez, Laverty, Redding, Iannone and Lorenzo, are on the soft front. Crutchlow, Rossi, Vinales and Marquez of the top six have gone for that medium option rear tyre. There is a real mishmash, a real blend of tyre combinations in this race, and that, you feel, is going to be the deciding factor, the crucial aspect of this 20-lap battle that's about to unfold.
Final chat with Dylan about the weather before the race gets underway.
No, at the moment, absolutely fine. We've had no rain whatsoever. I mean, the sky does look a little bit threatening, but it shouldn't be a problem at all. Conditions seem to remain exactly the same. Temperature, not the highest, but you know what? Great conditions to go racing in.
Yeah, 18 degrees centigrade, both track and the air temperature. The wind dropped just a little bit. And are they ready for flag to flag in pit lane, Dylan?
Yes, they are. Well, at the moment, they've obviously got their second bike set up for the dry, just in case there's a problem on the lap right now. But I guarantee you, once they start and the start goes well, they'll probably be changing them over to wet setup straight away.
Cracking attendance here today, 73,900, and it's been pouring with rain yesterday. It poured with rain all night, and that is a really decent attendance by the British fans, all hoping above hope that Cal Crutchlow will continue to rewrite the history books. No British rider has ever won the Premier Class race at his home Grand Prix. Not even the late, great Barry Sheene could do that.
Well, the theory at the start of this race should be advantage Ducati, with the likes of Scott Redding, Eugene Laverty, Andrea Iannone and Andrea Dovizioso both going for that soft front, soft rear combination. We'll see how it all pans out. Of course, Marc Marquez in control of the World Championship. 53 points, he sits clear of Valentino Rossi, who himself is 6 points clear of his Movistar Yamaha teammate, Jorge Lorenzo, who's made the right decision. Such an interesting combination of tyres throughout this field. It's going to be absolutely fascinating to see this battle unfold. How long will it take Crutchlow, Rossi, Vinales to get the right working temperature to that hard option front tyre?
So the red flag being shown. This is the second row of the grid. The two Repsol Hondas, Danny Pedrosa in the centre there. The championship leader, Marc Marquez, alongside him, Eugene Laverty. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship. Front row, the homeboy, Cal Crutchlow. Alongside him, last year's winner, Valentino Rossi. Completing the front row, the Suzuki of Maverick Vinales. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship is underway here at Silverstone.
Crutchlow and Rossi got away well off the front row. Andrea Iannone looked like he'd bogged it off the line. Vinales up the inside, but it's Rossi that will lead going through Copse Corner. Valentino Rossi, race winner here at Silverstone 1 year ago. He leads the way from Cal Crutchlow. Vinales tries to fight back, and it's the Suzuki man that leads through Maggots. Vinales leads the British Grand Prix. Oh, big crash at the back of the field there. Massive crash. Was that Alex Lowes or Pol Espargaro? It's one of the adventure Ducatis. We might have this race red flagged very early on.
We'll keep an eye on the red flag situation. Maverick Vinales rides down towards the Stoke corner. We ride with Valentino Rossi. Cal Crutchlow right behind him. We will keep you right up to date. Perhaps this race may have to be stopped as they come into Stoke corner, and it's the Suzuki of Maverick Vinales, the 21-year-old Spaniard, former Moto3 winner here, who's racing away at the start.
Look at Eugene Laverty on those soft option rear tyres. tyres and the soft option front. Laverty's up to second place. He's up on the inside of Valentino Rossi going through the Vale. Turn number 8. Rossi, can he fight back? No, he can't. Laverty second.
Eugene Laverty coming up to the
red
farm
flag,
curve.
Nick.
Red flag is out.
Yeah.
Race has been stopped. We thought it would be. A nasty looking crash coming into the Maggots corner.
It was definitely one of the Tech 3 Yamahas, and Alex Lowe's was in 16th place. So as we thought, it was definitely Pol Espargaro, and it was one of the Avinci Ducatis, I'm sure. Hector Barber's out there. It's Loris Baz. I think it was an incident with Loris Baz. It was running down that fast first section through Maggots and Beckett's. We thought we might have to see the red flag. There was a lot of damage and debris strewn across the circuit. We hope that Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz are perfectly okay. Turn number 1, it's a little bit further on through the course. There it is, it was Loris Baz. There's his badly damaged Avinci Ducati.
There we go, red flag, an incident at turn 1. I think it was just a bit beyond turn 1. Was it at Copse or a little bit further down?
Yeah, I think it was actually, there's Pol Espargaro. Yeah, we thought it was definitely one of the Tech 3 Yamaha rides. I think it was going into Maggots, Nick, through turns 2 and 3.
Yeah. Anyway, we've seen Pol Espargaro going away on the stretcher, but the fact that he's going away on the stretcher, obviously not good, but perhaps not such good news with one of the riders lying on the track at the moment. We will keep you right up to date. If you've just tuned in, the British Grand Prix has been stopped on the first lap following an incident at the second corner, the Maggots curve, involving Loris Baz with pretty certain Alex Lowe's and Pol Espargaro.
Yeah, it's Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz. They were the 2 riders involved. It was at turn number 2, that really, really fast run down to the Maggots corner.
We've just been told at the moment it's Baz and Espargaro.
Yeah, Lowe's was through. He was in 16th place. So this is the incident. Well, this was the start. Tell you what, Crutchlow and Rossi got away well, but Vignales got brilliant driving. He's got track position on the inside there. Rossi got the lead. What about further back in the field? Let's have a look for Baz and Pol Espargaro. There they are. They're just going to collide into each other, aren't they, on that run down into Maggots? Let's have a look. What happened there was it looked like Loris Baz. I think it was one of the Pramac Ducatis. It might have been Danilo Petrucci.
I think it was Petrucci, probably. Oh, look.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, they are so lucky.
Both of them were really lucky there.
They both came back on the track. Let's have another look.
I think it looked like Loris Baz was just about, look at that, it's a fast crash. You've got to say, the riders further down the field, the likes of Stefan Bradl, Tito Rabat, Alvaro Bautista, they all did brilliant jobs to take evasive action. We've seen Pol Espargaro going away on the stretcher. Treatment ongoing for the French rider Loris Baz. I'm not sure actually if it might have been Danilo Petrucci. They were just coming up behind him. I think Loris Baz was just perhaps in a fraction too hot. And just as he got on the gas off the line, clear track in front of him. We'll see Crutchlow and Rossi though sweep through, but Vignales has got the inside line. He's got brilliant drive as well to hold it over Rossi coming into the Maggot section, and he led then for the remainder of the lap. Going on behind him there was a bit of carnage and chaotic scenes as Loris Baz and Pol Espargaro went down very heavily, but thankfully it seems that both are okay, and we will be underway very, very shortly here at Silverstone. The pit lane will be open in just under a minute's time.
Yeah, coming up to, just around a minute's time, and it's the quick start procedure. So the race reduced by 1 lap, like 19 laps. Round 12 of the championship will get underway. Marc Marquez in deep concentration leads that championship by 53 points. A couple of crashes for him this weekend, Friday morning on a cold tyre, and a big crash yesterday at Copse Corner during qualifying, and a big incident for him at the race start between him and Scott Redding. And we're having a look at this at every angle. If it's going to be a red card, the older referees panel have had a really good look, haven't they?
Yeah, that was close. Big contact between Marc Marquez and Scott Redding. Redding had just started to move across to his right. Marc Marquez had made a pretty big move to his left. Here we go, perfect on board this is. There we go. Just a case of 2 riders just trying to fight for the same piece of tarmac. There was no intent whatsoever. It was just a purely accidental collision between the 2. Marc Marquez was probably the more fortunate of the 2 to stay on though, because he got a real whack on that front tyre.
So here we go. Pit lane will open in 10 seconds time. We're underway once again. It will be the quick start procedure. The race reduced by 1 lap. If you just tuned in, the race was stopped halfway through the first lap after a crash involving Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz at turn 2. Both riders slid across the track back into the path of others. They were lucky not to be hit, with a lot of debris down there as well. Both riders will be taken to the medical centre. Loris Baz on the stretcher, but waving to the crowd and conscious. So it doesn't look like it's a really serious incident, which is the most important news of the afternoon so far.
Yeah, so they've got 60 seconds, these riders, to make it out of the pit lane. Dylan?
Yeah, Matt, you asked earlier about does anyone have completely fresh rubber on? The only ones I could see is it looked like Marquez had a new front on there, and Valentino Rossi definitely has both other tyres new. Other bikes going out, they did not have that same sheen on the tyre, so it looks like not everyone has changed to brand new rubber. But you know what? I think that should ultimately not really make the difference in the end.
Here's Valentino Rossi. Anybody who saw him win the race here last year was a master class of wet weather riding from the master of MotoGP, 9 times world champion, of course.
So the pit lane's now closed.
They didn't have long to get out, did they? That is the new procedure to speed things along.
And it might be obvious for you guys, but just to confirm, so Pol Espargaro didn't get back to the box, so he won't be riding.
Okay, so it'll be a 19-rider field with Loris Baz and Pol Espargaro out of this rerun.
Yeah, 19 riders for 19 laps then in this British Grand Prix. The race distance reduced by 1 lap after that red flag. Here we are then for the quick restart procedure, as we told you. Only one mechanic permitted on the grid to greet their riders, and then we will be underway very, very shortly.
And the grid obviously will remain the same. Crutchlow, Rossi, Vinales front row, Pedrosa, Marquez, Lafferty second row, Redding, Iannone, Lorenzo third row, Dovizioso, Espargaro, that's Aleix Espargaro, and Jack Miller the fourth row. Loris Baz, well, he won't be there. Danilo Petrucci and Pol Espargaro won't be there. That would have been the sixth row of the grid. Alex Lowe, Stefan Bradl and Hector Barbara, and Alvaro Bautista, Yoni Hernandez, who led the way in the wet warm-up, and Tito Rabat, former Moto2 winner here. Grid forming up very quickly indeed. 19 laps now then. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship. Cal Crutchlow in pole position. Eugene Lafferty absolutely flying in that first half lap of the race before it was red flagged, up into second place. As we've seen in these situations so often, usually it's a complete turnaround second time round.
Well, Eugene Lafferty did exactly what he needed to do, because on that soft front tyre and soft rear tyre, he's going to have, you think, an advantage at the start of the race compared to some of those around him. So he had to go a bit gung-ho at the start. He did it brilliantly to get away. Well, he'd just taken second place from Valentino Rossi with a brave move down at the Vale chicane before the red flag came out. So Eugene Lafferty again will be looking to make the repeat of that start as the grid quickly clears then for this quick restart.
My God, that grid did clear quickly. Right, restart. 19 laps, completely new race. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship here at Silverstone.
So, warm-up lap for the second time of asking for these riders just to get some temperature into those tyres. Valentino Rossi, as Dylan points out, he did decide to throw in a completely new set of hard option front Michelin tyre, new Michelin rear tyre. We're going to get some great action, aren't we, from this brand new 360-degree gyroscopic camera, bringing you literally right into the heart of the battle.
Right to the face of Maverick Vinales, who's behind him, look. Great helicopter shot. This is coming down towards the Stowe corner, the far end of the circuit. Crowd here, 75,000. I think that's probably a record crowd on race day for the British Grand Prix. Certainly since it returned in 2010 it is. Let's just have a look at those temperatures. 19 degrees, actually a little bit, 18 both the same, track and air. And that wind is still a little bit gusty, but probably won't affect the MotoGP machines as much as it would have done Moto3 or even Moto2.
So Cal Crutchlow then, for the second time of asking, will start the British Grand Prix from pole position.
Can he claim 2 pole positions for that?
I bet you will be asking Tissot for another watch.
Yeah, and he'll probably be claiming in the record books.
And he'll be asking Lucio for another pole bonus as well.
Yeah, he will. Yeah. We ride with Marc Marquez. Don't rule him out in any way in this race, Marc Marquez. He's had a bit of an up and down weekend, but he's had plenty of those in his career. Former winner here in 125 and also MotoGP. Some great races here. Crashed out here last year in the rain. And he crashed out yesterday, and exactly, it was a carbon copy crash with the weather and where he went down at turn 1 at Copse Corner. This is down at Brooklands. Stefan Bradl, perhaps his last British Grand Prix before he goes to World Superbikes. Some brilliant evasive action by him when Paul Espargaro and Loris Baz came back across the track in the crash. They're through Luffield. 53 points separating Marquez and Rossi in the World Championship. This is a race that Valentino Rossi has to win if he's going to have any chance of pulling back some decent points advantage on the championship leader. Front row lines up. Red flag shown again. Valentino Rossi in the centre of the front row of the grid. We're with Cal Crutchlow in pole position, completing that front row. Maverick Vinales, who was leading the race after half a lap when the red flag went out. Second time around. Green flag being shown. 19 laps this time round. Round 12 of the MotoGP World Championship, the home of British motorsport.
Rossi and Crutchlow got away well for the second time of asking. Not such a good start for Maverick Vinales this time around. It's Crutchlow then that leads the British Grand Prix. Dani Pedrosa got away well from 4th place as well. He's putting pressure on Maverick Vinales. We're on board with Valentino Rossi through the Maggots section for the first time. It's Cal Crutchlow that leads his home race.
Vinales coming right up behind Valentino Rossi, but Crutchlow, to the delight of the crowd, comes onto the Hangar Straight, leading the way. There is Jorge Lorenzo. Behind him, Andrea Iannone. Crutchlow coming to pressure. 320 kilometres an hour as they come into Stoke Corner. Rossi coming up the inside. Here comes Maverick Vinales also. Crutchlow holds firm just.
Vinales gets through on Valentino Rossi. Brilliant late move on the brakes from the Spanish rider then. He now leads the charge on Crutchlow. Andrea Iannone's got up the inside of 3 riders. Iannone was up the inside of Scott Redding, Dani Pedrosa and Jorge Lorenzo on the run down to the Vale chicane. Brilliant by the Italian.
Remember the overtake at Phillip Island last season? That was right up there with him. Along the international pit straight, Rossi coming under pressure, and it's Maverick Vinales that's taken the lead into Abbey.
Sorry for a disservice there to Maverick Vinales. Thought it was Rossi that was sweeping through. So Vinales, just as he did last time out in the initial start, leads the British Grand Prix on the opening lap. Marc Marquez bravely around the outside of Valentino Rossi. He's got the inside line for the loop. Rossi goes back to 4th place. Andrea Iannone's a man on the charge. There he is into 5th place. Dani Pedrosa 6th. Scott Redding 7th.
Wow, that was aggressive stuff from Marquez. Down the Wellington Straight. Into Brooklands they come. And Maverick Vinales on the Suzuki, just opening up a little bit of an advantage as they come up to Luffield and Woodcut. 19 laps. There will be 18 left when they cross the line.
Still trying to understand how Andrea Iannone got that Ducati stop going into Vale on that first lap, because it was quite a breathtaking move. Vinales then will lead over the line at the end of the first lap from Crutchlow, from Marquez. Rossi got pushed back to 4th. Iannone, Pedrosa, Redding, Lorenzo, Dovizioso and Aleix Espargaro. That's your top 10.
Yeah, a little bit further down we have Jack Miller, Eugene Lafferty, Petrucci Bradl, Batista Hernandez, Alex Lowe's, Tito Rabat and Hector Barbara. That's your top 19.
Eugene Lafferty hasn't been able to capitalise on those soft option rear tyres second time around. He was second, of course, before the red flags came out earlier on. He's down in 12th place, though, now, as Jorge Lorenzo's picked his way through on Scott Redding. They power out of the Chapel Curve, down the Hangar Straight. It's Maverick Vinales that's opened up a lead of over 4/10 of a second. Crutchlow under pressure from Marquez. Marquez is through. Can Rossi also find a way through? Marquez, second.
Yeah, Marquez into second place. Rossi almost got up the inside of Cal Crutchlow, through Vale, down towards the club corner. Here comes Crutchlow, up the inside of Valentino Rossi. He can't find a way through. Sorry, up the inside of Marquez. He can't find a way through as they come onto the international pit straight.
Marquez just too late on the brakes going into Vale for Cal Crutchlow. Marquez, of course, he's got that soft option front Michelin tyre on, so that will perhaps be up to working temperature, a little bit quicker than the hards that Rossi and Crutchlow have got on at the moment. Vinales, though, is doing a really good job at the front of this field. He's stretching them away. Marc Marquez is desperately trying to hang in there. The gap between Vinales and Marquez already up to nearly 8/10 of a second.
Valentino Rossi trying all he can to get past Cal Crutchlow and Andrea Iannone. We've seen some great overtaking from him, closing up on these all the time. But Maverick Vinales on the Suzuki, chasing his first ever Grand Prix win, is, well, getting away at the moment as they come down towards Brooklands, but a long, long way to go. Just over 17 laps to go.
Rossi in a little bit hot down at Brooklands, turn number 16. He didn't leave the door open ajar enough for Andrea Iannone to sweep through. Iannone's still in 5th place ahead of Dani Pedrosa. Here comes Maverick Vinales though, through Woodcote Corner to complete lap number 2. And he's probably leading this British Grand Prix now by over a second. He's 9/10 of a second quicker than Marc Marquez. Vinales, fastest lap of the race at 2:02.339, half a second faster on lap 2 than Marc Marquez.
We ride with the number 25, former Moto3 winner here at Silverstone. Needed a good start, he's got that good start. Last Suzuki to finish on the podium at the British Grand Prix, Randy Mamola in 1983.
2007, 9 years ago since Chris Vermeulen, the Australian. Bit of marshals running in the background. I'm not sure if we've had a faller coming through Magnus and Beckett. Look at the gap that Maverick Vinales has been able to establish now at the end of the hanger straight. Yeah, Stefan Bradl was the faller. We just saw some marshals running there. A crash at turn 3 for the German rider. But Maverick Vinales is checking out on the Suzuki.
This would be an historic win. There he is, Stefan Bradl, probably his last British Grand Prix, certainly for 2 years anyway. And a turn 3 coming up. Down he goes on the Aprilia. He's clipped the cloud. It's just clipped the curve.
He's clipped the back of Eugene Laverty. That's what's happened there. He's got in too hot and it's pushed Eugene Laverty wide. So Eugene Laverty, that's dropped him further back down the field. Laverty's now back in. Well, he's probably in last place, actually, unfortunately. Oh, problems for Scott Redding. He's crashed at turn number 8. Scott Redding was running in 9th place.
Scott Redding. Looks like we're trying to restart the bike, but it looks like major problems for Scott Redding. Crashing out, coming into that, through Vale into that club corner. Back at the front. Well, at the front, there's only one man in it at the moment as they come down to Brooklands. There is Maverick Vinales, then Marc Marquez. Cal Crutchlow still in 3rd place, Rossi behind him, Andrea Iannone, Dani Pedrosa also well placed behind Dani Pedrosa. Jorge Lorenzo beginning to close up on the duo with Andrea Dovizioso behind him. The gap now 1.3 seconds for Maverick Vinales.
On board with Rossi through this magnificent Woodcote Corner. Maverick Vinales is already over the line to start lap number 4. He's 1.3 seconds clear of Marc Marquez. Crutchlow, Rossi, Iannone and Pedrosa. They've all just put in personal best laps of the race.
We ride with Marc Marquez. He hasn't been able to break away from the group, and if anything, Cal Crutchlow has brought the group closer to Marc Marquez as they go down through the Maggots, Beckett's, Chapel Complex and onto the hanger straight.
Crutchlow and Rossi have got to get through on Marc Marquez, isn't it? Because Maverick Vinales, Crutchlow and Rossi have got the same tyre combination as the Suzuki man, but the longer they spend behind Marquez, the more of a gap Vinales can open up, and the more space and the more comfort zone he's got in the latter stages of the race. Crutchlow and Rossi, again, they just can't find a way through Marquez with that soft option front tyre.
We ride with Marc Marquez. Here comes Cal Crutchlow through Vale, up the inside at Club. Has he gone through this time round? No. You're so right. They just cannot prize an opening, can they? As they come through Club onto the international back straight, or the international pit straight. This is where the Formula 1 cars start their race stop, and up towards Abbey. And already Maverick Vinales is in Abbey, but a terrific battle now going on for 2nd place because Dani Pedrosa's closing up all the time.
Well, in the first 2 sectors on this 4th lap, Maverick Vinales has been able to stretch out another half a second. The likes of Crutchlow, Rossi and Iannone are being held up here by Marc Marquez. They've got to find a way through before it's too late. There's still 16 laps to go, but Maverick Vinales is already in a race of his own. Crutchlow and Rossi have got to get through on Marc Marquez. The problem is Marquez is such a demon on the brakes, they just can't find a way through to make a pass safely.
This is where they might try. We ride with Valentino Rossi. That's Crutchlow in front of them. They're not close enough as they go into Brooklands.
No way through this time around. In fact, Marc Marquez, if anything, just opened up 4 or 5 bike lengths. So they came out on the gas, coming out of the Aintree corner onto the Wellington straight. We're on board with the race leader, the Spanish rider, the 21-year-old Maverick Vinales. He comes over the line now to complete lap number 4. And his advantage is 1.8 seconds. He was half a second quicker that time around than the chasing pack.
Yeah, first Grand Prix victory, I won't say in the reckoning for him. It's a long, long way to go in the Premier class. He's a former Moto3 winner here. He is was the Moto3 world champion. Just one podium finish for him this season at Suzuki. That was at Le Mans. And of course, he joins Valentino Rossi at Yamaha next season. They're trying all they can, Crutchlow and Rossi, to get through on Marquez, but he is just not giving them one single inch, as you would expect. This is where they're going to try again. Crutchlow trying to get a little bit of a slipstream, as is Rossi. They come into Stoke corner. They try everything to get through, but they haven't got the pace to get past him.
Iannone and Pedrosa hanging in there in this battle for second place. Just off them is Lorenzo in 7th, Dovizioso in 8th place, and Aleix Espargaro in 9th. They're having a good three-way fight for that 7th spot. Jack Miller's having a good ride in 10th.
What about Alex Lowe? Still going extremely well, because it's Petrucci in 11th. 12th is Hernandez, Bautista 13th, and Alex Lowe's in the points in 14th.
Poor old Eugene Laverty caught up in that incident with Stefan Bradl at Marquest. He's down in 17th place at the moment. He's only got Scott running behind him, who's crashed out the race. It's Crutchlow close up this time. Rossi, though, finds a way through. Great move by Rossi. Crutchlow leans on him. Can Rossi get away through? No, he can't. Oh, he almost has his front wheel taken there by Crutchlow. Crutchlow had the inside line going through the loop. That was close. Rossi can sense that Vinales is checking out to a distance here that he won't be able to claw back.
Yeah, he wants to get past Cal Crutchlow. Crutchlow wants to try and get past Marquez. Pretty aggressive stuff from both riders. Here comes Rossi once again at Brooklands. Can he make it stick? He does. Valentino Rossi up into 3rd place. This time there's nothing Cal Crutchlow can do.
Yeah, because Marquez was actually starting to pull away from Crutchlow in 2nd. So Rossi deciding that the time was right, he had to go. He tried it at Village, didn't quite make it stick. He got it right at Brooklands. So here we go then, start of lap number 6. It's Vinales the leader by 2.2 seconds now over Marquez. Rossi's half a second behind Marquez, 2.6 seconds back of Maverick Vinales. 14 laps, still plenty of time for Rossi to eke his way back into contention. Time, of course, for Marquez.
They are hanging on by their fingernails, aren't they, Andrea Iannone and Danny Pedrosa at the back of this group. Yeah, Maverick Vinales, amazing ride by the 21-year-old at the front. He's looked good all weekend.
I wonder if that means that it's a lap 13, yeah. It's an SW, switch. Which I wonder if it means switch. You've got to maybe change the mapping just to maybe double the power limit. Rossi's at the 2nd place. Rossi is charging. Rossi's through on Marquez down at the Stowe corner. Valentino Rossi's got heat in that hard option front tyre. Then Rossi up to 2nd on lap number 6. What is the gap then between Rossi and Vinales? We'll check them very shortly as they come through the 2nd sector. Pedrosa's made a move on Iannone as well. Pedrosa up to 5th.
This is going to be a very interesting 2 or 3 laps. Has Valentino Rossi got any chance of repeating his victory of last season? Keep looking at those lap times, because he has got in front, and Marquez closes right up on Valentino Rossi. Rossi will be able to hear that Honda in his ears right behind him. He knows he can't make any sort of mistake, and he knows if Marquez gets through on him, it will impede him, and it will just allow Vinales to get further away at the front.
Yeah, Marquez ran wide going into Abbey Court. He just got a little bit too close to Valentino Rossi, just had to shut off, run wide. The gap between Vinales and Rossi through the 3rd section is 2.4 seconds with 13 laps and 3 corners of this British Grand Prix remaining.
And the battle for 2nd place still continues to rage. Valentino Rossi with Marquez right behind him. They're coming into Woodcote. When they cross the line, there will be 13 laps to go. They cross the line now. Well, Maverick Vinales crosses the line now. Here come the others chasing after him. That familiar number 25, that blue Suzuki, into Copse corner. The gap, 2.5 seconds. But Rossi is starting to open a little bit of an advantage now over Marquez. These next few laps are going to tell us an awful lot about what Valentino Rossi's got left in the locker, with that harder compound tyre now beginning to pay a few dividends.
Yeah, Maverick Vinales, even though Valentino Rossi put in his personal best lap of the race with a 2:02.745, looked like Aleix Espargaro had just run off, although maybe it was Scott Redding actually just, he's crashed again. Scott Redding's having a home Grand Prix to forget, turn number 13, unlucky for the British rider.
Yeah, that's the entry corner for Scott Redding.
This was his first crash. That was at turn number 8, and this is his second one. Turn number 13, almost identical, just rolling off the side of the front tyre. So Scott Redding's Superman leathers haven't been able to catapult him to a decent result on home soil. Pramac Ducati look on. Yeah, Rossi is slowly edging away from Marc Marquez. He's making no impression on Maverick Vinales, though. Vinales keeping the gap at 2.5 seconds through the second split on lap number 7.
We ride with a 21-year-old Spaniard, former Moto3 world champion, 1 season in Moto2, then joining Suzuki. Probably regarded as the hottest property in Grand Prix racing at the moment, chasing his first ever MotoGP victory. He leaves Suzuki at the end of the season. Davide Brivio, who we spoke to on the grid, team manager of Suzuki, looks nervous.
He was trying to downplay their chances when he spoke to Dylan, wasn't he? But you could tell that they were really, really confident. Maverick Vinales, certainly on Friday, was very, very fast on slick tyres, and these are these cool conditions where the Suzuki does thrive. It's in the hotter ambient temperatures, the hotter track conditions where the Suzuki really struggles for rear grip. And Maverick Vinales said all of his time on Friday was spent working on electronics to try and conserve his tyres in the second half of the race.
2.8 seconds now he leads away, and I tell you, Marquez is closing up on Rossi all the time. Rossi's not been able to get away. We're looking at a fantastic replay. 200 kilometres an hour as he comes into Woodcut Corner.
Yeah, Marquez last time around put in a personal best lap of the race. He was a fraction faster than Valentino Rossi. You'd think Vinales and Rossi, with that hard option front, medium option rear, would have the better tyre life in the second half of the race over Marc Marquez. So it'll be interesting to see how Marquez can hang in there in this battle for the podium. He's doing a good job of holding off Crutchlow, Pedrosa and Iannone at the moment.
Yeah, Iannone, after looking so fierce and taking 2 riders going into Club Corner, really has not made a lot of progress since then, has he? And in fact, Danny Pedrosa has got past him.
But I think we do need to think that Pedrosa and Iannone, as well as Dovizioso behind, are on that softer option rear tyre, the front 4 on the medium. And considering what Iannone did in Austria last time out, just conserving the tyre right until the end, you don't know whether those guys are actually just quite comfortable sitting there right now.
Yeah, behind Andrea Iannone, we get a glimpse there of Jorge Lorenzo running in 8th place, and Alessio Spargaro on the 2nd of the Suzukis in 9th. Then it's Petrucci 10, Miller 11, Hernandez 12, Bautista 13, 14 is Hector Barbera, at 15th place is Alex Lowe's.
Looks like it will be a 6th successive race without a victory for Jorge Lorenzo. His championship challenge is fading very fast, with Marc Marquez again in the podium places.
Marquez will want to beat Valentino Rossi, but he won't be too disappointed if he just finishes 1 place behind him as far as the championship goes.
We're into the 4th sector now, where the Honda's been working well all weekend. This is where Marquez should be able to close down a little bit on Valentino Rossi. Maverick Vinales, you can see in the top left-hand picture of your screen, is coming over the line to start lap number 9. And the gap between Vinales and Rossi's eked out again. It's 2.7 seconds. Marquez and Crutchlow setting their personal best laps last time around, but Valentino Rossi holding firm in 2nd place. But Maverick Vinales is running away with this British Grand Prix.
Here he is through this magnificent Maggotts, Beckett's and Chapel Curve complex. Switch now back to Marquez. Well, just coming under a little bit of pressure from Cal Crutchlow. We ride now with Cal Crutchlow, pole position for the British rider. This is this section, it is superb. Right, left, right, left, right.
Looked like he briefly got ahead of Marc Marquez there, but Marquez just held firm.
Through the Vale section, halfway through this lap, so that will be 10.5 laps to go. It's a 19-lap race. First race was stopped halfway through the first lap following the accident of Pol Espargaro and Loris Baz. They come onto the international pit straight, and he's got about a good half of that straight to his advantage, hasn't he, Maverick Vinales, as he tips it into the Abbey Curve.
Well, this is why Suzuki signed him after just 1 year in the Moto2 World Championship. This is why Yamaha have signed Maverick Vinales to replace Jorge Lorenzo next year. We're on board with Danny Pedrosa, who's locked in this brilliant fight for 2nd place. You can see Rossi, Marquez and Cal Crutchlow just ahead of him. You can't see the race leader, Maverick Vinales, because he's just a dot in the distance going down the Wellington Straight, the Spanish rider.
Back to the battle for 2nd place. Rossi and Marquez into Brooklands.
Well, he's like a dog with a bone, Marquez. Rossi can't break him, can he?
And he's quite happy where he is because it's great for the championship. But he wants to beat him, doesn't he? He wants to beat him desperately. And I'm afraid, whatever the team have told him, whatever the instructions he's received, he's in his zone now, isn't he? He wants to beat Valentino Rossi. This is going to go all the way to the end, I promise you.
3 seconds, the gap now between Vinales and Rossi. So Vinales 3 seconds up for the first time in this race. It's a great battle. A 5-rider fight for second place at the moment. Big speed wobble for Marquez. He lost acceleration and drive coming out of Copse Corner. Cal Crutchlow says thank you very much. The British rider sweeps through into third.
Brilliant stuff from Crutchlow. Mistake from, well, don't about a mistake from Mark. I don't think there's an awful lot he could do about it. They come down the hanger straight now towards the Stowe corner. Vinales has disappeared, and Cal Crutchlow is on the podium as we stand. But with 9.5 laps to go, that can change dramatically. Here comes Andrea Iannone up the inside of Danny Pedrosa. Pushes him wide. Iannone surely he's got the inside line. He has now. Perhaps he has been conserving his tyres as he did in Austria 3 weeks ago.
Well, he's got work to do because he's given Maverick Vinales a 4-second start, and normally MotoGP you can't do that at this level. Vinales has long gone into the distance, so you're only up into 5th. This is where Marc Marquez had problems. Yeah, look at that, he just lost, if he hit a bump there and just lost the rear as he came over a bump, but we know the Honda's had some acceleration problems. Yeah, he's squeezing the power on there, and he just rear tyre spinning up, lost all momentum down into Magus, and Cal Crutchlow was able to sweep quite easily through. Crutchlow now swarming all over the rear tyre of Valentino Rossi.
Well, Maverick Vinales is disappearing into the distance, but there's a tremendous battle still continuing for second place. A 3-second advantage now. But onto the Wellington straight they come. Cal Crutchlow closing up on Valentino Rossi. Will he try to get up the inside on the brakes? No, he is not close enough. That last Suzuki win, I think we've probably got to start saying that now. That last Suzuki win, 2007, Chris Vermeulen.
Yeah,
was it at Le Mans?
Yeah, in the wet, yeah. I'm sure Chris, in his role of pundit for Australian TV, will be cheering on Maverick Vinales, watching his ex-factory potentially end their long run without success. It's Crutchlow up the inside of Rossi there, down into Copse Corner.
Very hard indeed, not quite into Copse Corner. Marquez fighting back, Iannone on the rear wheel of Marquez. I tell you, this battle for second place is going to explode, and Iannone through on Marquez. Iannone, I think, is the man to watch at the moment on the Ducati.
I think Marquez is having real problems with rear grip coming out of the Copse Corner, because that's the second lap in a row now that he's lost position. Crutchlow last time around, this time around it was Andrea Iannone.
We ride with Marc Marquez, that's his teammate, Danny Pedrosa behind him. So the gap would be reduced to 44 points. So he's taken 9 points off him if this remains the same, if Valentino Rossi staying in second place. And of course Maverick Vinales also winning the race, and Vinales will be closing right up in the battle for third place with Jorge Lorenzo.
Yeah, Andrea Iannone looks really, really threatening there in 4th place. He's closing up on Cal Crutchlow as they sweep through the club corner. Look at the corner speed that Iannone can carry with those softer option tyres.
Grip there, wasn't he? Tremendous grip out of the club corner, up the inside of Crutchlow. There is absolutely nothing Cal Crutchlow can do, and it reminds me of Cal Crutchlow and Bruno, the way he was finding that grip.
So Iannone then up into the podium place. His next in his sights will be Valentino Rossi. Maverick Vinales is about to go 4 seconds clear of this chasing pack. This is a great battle raging for second place. We're on board with Andrea Iannone looking back at Bruno winner Cal Crutchlow. The way that Iannone's sived his way through on Marquez and Cal Crutchlow on this lap, well, Valentino Rossi will be having a very big problem very, very shortly.
He's arriving at speed, that red Ducati down at Brooklands. Dylan.
Yeah, if you look, it's only Vinales and Iannone that are in the 202s. I think now we've seen this big drop-off that they've said, because they've all of a sudden now almost everyone dropped into the 203s. It's only Vinales and Iannone who've avoided that so far.
What happened on Friday? The superior race pace was from Maverick Vinales and Andrea Iannone. It was clear to see on the timesheets on Friday afternoon. So Iannone up the inside of Valentino Rossi. He's making this look easy. Andrea Iannone, in a lap and a half, he's past Marquez, Crutchlow and Rossi.
He's scything through them like a knife through butter. Now, with just under 8 laps to go, can he make any impression on Maverick Vinales at the front?
Well, he needs to be lapping half a second a lap faster then, doesn't he? And the way Maverick Vinales has been in complete control, Iannone himself dropped into the 203s last time out. Here comes Rossi fighting back.
Rossi's not having it, is he? They're absolutely side by side, 320 kilometres an hour. What a great shot, and Rossi's going to outbrake him into Stowe, and he's done it.
Oh, it feels like he can reach out and touch Andrea Iannone there, coming into the braking zone. Aleix Espargo will have a 1 second penalty added to his lap time. Rossi is through. This is a great fight for second place. Of course, while they're tripping each other up, Maverick Vinales is just eking away at the front. He does lead now by 4.3 seconds, Vinales. Surely it's his race to lose now.
It might not be a race at the front, but it's an unbelievable race for second place and full marks to Valentino Rossi. We thought Andrea Iannone was going to disappear into the distance. Rossi had other thoughts, but Iannone would come back at him. Crutchlow coming into the fray as well as they go through the farm curve. Crutchlow almost getting up the inside of Andrea Iannone. Marquez and Pedrosa joining in the fun. This is mayhem. What a battle for second place as they come onto that Wellington straight.
Yeah, it looked like Crutchlow with that hard option front tyre. Just had a bit more braking stability than Andrea Iannone going down into that village corner. Wasn't quite able to find his way through on Andrea Iannone. Dovizioso's come right back into this battle for second place as well. He's just at the back of this group in 7th place. Dovizioso, don't rule him out of this fight for second place.
7 laps to go. Vinales has already crossed the line. Rossi crosses the line now. Boy, that's a gap of 4.8 seconds, but I don't think we're too worried about that as Iannone gets back up the inside of Valentino Rossi at Copse Corner. Crutchlow trying to ride round the outside of him. It's like a speedway match as they're racing through there at 120 miles an hour down towards the Maggots corner.
This is like a Moto3 race in MotoGP. Fantastic action. Maverick Vinales again was half a second quicker than this chasing group. 4.8 seconds now he leads this race. He's coming down to the end of the hanger straight for Stowe Corner while these group are still just coming onto this hanger straight. Iannone then can he make the breakaway from Rossi, Crutchlow, Marquez, Pedrosa and Dovizioso? Surely it's too late to hunt down Maverick Vinales. Here we go, Iannone up the inside of Valentino Rossi at the first corner. Quite literally a bird's eye view from Rossi's Yamaha M1.
Well, that's of course where Iannone went down yesterday, didn't he, in free practice 4 in a big fall. As Cal Crutchlow obviously wants to finish on the podium, we ride with Maverick Vinales. So far, absolute masterclass from a lad so young, 21 years old, only in his second season of MotoGP. He is a world champion in Moto3, had some Moto2 wins as well, but immediately snatched up by Suzuki to make an early MotoGP debut. It has paid off, but the battle for second place continues to rage. Iannone and Marquez now with Cal Crutchlow. Marquez now up into 4th place, Rossi 3rd, and in 2nd place Andrea Iannone, and he hasn't been able to break away from Valentino Rossi. Rossi again thinks about the inside, he's not close enough as they come into the Brooklands corner.
Marquez is through on Crutchlow. You can see there Aleix Espargo will be penalised with a 1 second penalty at the end of the race. I thought I saw a Suzuki running off at Maggots a little bit early on in the race, so it won't affect, well, Crutchlow, that's brave up the inside of Marquez at Woodcote. Oh, what a move by Crutchlow. Aggressive, hard, but fair. He picks up Marquez. That's flat out through there. Crutchlow, brave in the extreme. Brilliant move by Crutchlow to take that 4th place back from Marquez. Marquez getting a bit of a taste of his own medicine that time.
Here comes Crutchlow again. He's got up the inside of Valentino Rossi. Crutchlow is up on the podium place in 3rd place.
Crutchlow really starting to bare his teeth now. Brilliant moves on Marquez and Valentino Rossi in the space of 3 corners. Cal Crutchlow then back in the podium places in his home Grand Prix.
We ride with Valentino Rossi. Cal Crutchlow in front of him, under the bridge, fastest part of the circuit, down towards Stowe Corner, well over 320 kilometres an hour. Rossi sniffs up the inside and then says, no, if I got up the inside there, take both of them out into the gravel at Stowe Corner.
Crutchlow, can he close up on the brakes with that hard option front tyre on Andrea Iannone in the braking zone for Vale? Not quite. Iannone still holding firm in 2nd. That is Pedrosa and Andrea Dovizioso just can't quite get in that hunt for the podium right now. There is Maverick Vinales going through the Abbey curve, way ahead of Andrea Iannone. We're on board again with Valentino Rossi.
In front of him is Cal Crutchlow, and just in the red there, Andrea Iannone going through the farm curve. We saw Iannone go down there yesterday in a fairly big crash. Slowest part of the circuit, the loop, and then the village corner.
Andrea Iannone's doing a brilliant job here of managing those soft option tyres. Marquez picks up Valentino Rossi. Oh, that's really aggressive from Marquez. Well, these two have had some battle royales down the years.
He's not going to be happy about that. This is personal. We ride with Rossi. I tell you, he's going to get up the inside of Brooklands. He's going to give it absolutely everything, and he has got up the inside of Brooklands, and there is nowhere for Marc Marquez to go. This is personal. This is...
Oh, Iannoni's gone down. Andre Iannoni's crashed out of second place. He's down at the Luffield corner. Iannoni out of second place, so this is now a battle for third in the race. There is Andre Iannoni. Well, finally his soft option front tyre has cried no more. It puts Crutchlow second, and this epic fight between Rossi and Marquez is now a fight for third.
Yeah, through Copse Corner they come. They have taken their gloves off, these two, as they have done on many, many times before. Oh, Marquez thought about getting up the inside, going into the Maggots corner. No, he has got up the inside.
He's gone off. He's
gone
off
off the track. Marquez puts his hand up. He had to run straight on.
That's fine. He can come back on in front of Danny Pedrosa and Andrea Dovizioso. He knew he couldn't come back on track in front of Valentino Rossi.
So that has changed the situation quite dramatically. Cal Crutchlow a second, Valentino Rossi third, then Marc Marquez. Let's have a look at it again. He's just getting in too hot, isn't he? Yeah. He's just got to run it on.
That's a classic case of impatience and over-exuberance from Marc Marquez. Look at this. What an onboard shot that is from Valentino Rossi. Brilliant from the gyroscopic camera.
Follows Marquez going off into the boondocks, into the countryside.
Marquez is right back on Valentino Rossi. He's going to have a look up the inside at the Abbey corner. Can he make it stick? No, he can't. Rossi just slightly later on the brakes as they peel through Abbey.
The red mist is down, the red mist is down with Marc Marquez. He's got upstairs inside now with Valentino Rossi. And is he going to hold firm? No, Rossi comes back at him, side by side, and Rossi back through. Marquez fights back. This is very personal indeed. I think Marquez has stolen it back again. He has. Rossi tries to get back up the inside. You'll never see better motorcycle racing. You never see better motorsport than this in the world.
Wheel to wheel, elbow to elbow between Marc Marquez and Valentino Rossi here at the British Grand Prix. 4 laps and 3 corners remaining. Maverick Vinales in complete control of this race. He's 5 seconds clear of Cal Crutchlow in second place. But the fans, the 75,000 fans packed into Silverstone, captivated by this titanic battle between Marquez and Rossi for third.
And Danny Pedrosa now joining in the fun. He wants to help his teammate Marc Marquez.
Well, Rossi and Marquez...
It's a shame in some ways. It's taking all the glory away from Maverick Vinales, isn't it?
Well, the Rossi Marquez scrap is doing 2 things. They're carving each other up so much, it's given Cal Crutchlow the chance to break away in second, and it's brought Pedrosa and Dovizioso back into the hunt for the podium.
This is the battle for third place. It's very fierce indeed. 56-point gap now in the World Championship if these positions remain the same. I can promise you these positions will not remain the same in the next 3.5 laps.
Marc Marquez has probably got some blue paint on his leathers, and Valentino Rossi's probably got some red and orange paint on his leathers. It's been that close in this fight for third place. As we said, it's given Cal Crutchlow the chance to break away from Marquez in third place. Crutchlow's a second ahead now of Marquez.
Yeah, Crutchlow would not want to be involved in this. He would for enjoyment, but not for the position he stands in the race. Here is Scott Redding.
He hasn't had another crash.
It's not going to be the third crash for poor old Scott Redding, is it? Right, back to the battle for third place. Crutchlow has opened up a bit of an advantage. We have 3.5 laps to go. They come into the Abbey curve. What another ride by Cal Crutchlow. Second in Germany. Winner in Brno 2 weeks ago. And now running in second place.
It does look like Marquez has got the pace to get away from Rossi. Breathtaking shots here on board that gyroscopic camera from Valentino Rossi. That was so close. A face full of Marc Marquez. Absolutely brilliant action.
It is. It's Motor 3. It's club racing, isn't it?
Big moment for Crutchlow as he squeezed the power on coming out of Brooklands. That's going to give Marc Marquez heart in this battle for second place. Crutchlow just asking for the power a little bit too early. He was thrown out of the seat. Gathered it all back up though. Crutchlow stays in second place.
The big crowd and this grandstands that engulf this Woodcote corner, they clap, but they're a little bit quieter. Crutchlow, 3 laps to go, tips it into Copse corner. The advantage at the front for Maverick Vinales, 4.6 seconds.
Got to take your hat off to Marc Marquez, Nick. He's just put in a 2:02.825. He was half a second quicker than Crutchlow last time around. half a second quicker than Valentino Rossi. He's broken Rossi, no doubt about that. Marc Marquez is winning this personal duel for third place. Now he's all about hunting down Cal Crutchlow. You can forget about this man, Maverick Vinales, because he has long gone into the distance. Vinales leads by 4.6 seconds. Suzuki are about to be on the top step of a MotoGP podium for the first time since 2007. Chris Fumulin at Le Mans. If Maverick Vinales can keep his composure, he's been the top gun today, no doubt about that.
The battle for second place. Crutchlow on the brakes into clutch corner.
Oh dear, look at that. Davide Brivio, he cannot watch.
Because Davide Brivio was the man that instigated Rossi's move from Honda to Yamaha and masterminded success at Yamaha, wasn't he? He's doing the same at Suzuki now, and he's closing up all the time. Is Marc Marquez on Crutchlow as they go through the Abbey curve.
This was the moment that he had coming through Brooklands on the last lap. He's just, yeah, look at that for Crutchlow. That was a big moment for Cal. And that's brought Marc Marquez right back into contention. Marc Marquez attacks Crutchlow. Marquez is the man on the charge in this race at the end of the British Grand Prix. And he takes second place from Cal Crutchlow. Has Crutchlow got anything to respond?
Oh, he clinically passed him, wasn't it? Very clean indeed. But here comes Crutchlow, absolutely side by side into Brooklands. He blinked, and now he runs in a bit wide, and Marquez has got up the inside, but Crutchlow has the only advantage, but Marquez makes it stick. So Marquez now second, Crutchlow third into Woodcote corner. There will be 2 laps to go. And I think Crutchlow's going to have one more nibble at him, don't you?
I think we can safely say that Marc Marquez hasn't been riding with the championship in mind today.
Here comes Crutchlow up into Copse corner.
He's got the inside line as well. Yeah, Marquez can't turn in because Cal Crutchlow's right there on the LCR Honda rider. What a battle we've seen for second place, raged behind Maverick Vinales. It's been awesome between Crutchlow, between Marquez, between Valentino Rossi. Rossi looks out of it in fourth place. He's really struggling to try and get on the podium for the second year in a row here at Silverstone.
They come through the last part of the complex through the Chapel Curve onto the Hangar Straight. Good drive out of here, both of them on Hondas, of course. Now will Marquez try to nip out of that slipstream any moment now? Here he comes, up the inside on the brakes. He sweeps past Crutchlow.
Oh, he's in way too hot. He's in way too hot. Marquez has got off the track. That's going to cost him the podium. It's podium over surely for Marquez. He got it all in way too hot on Cal Crutchlow, and Marquez has dropped back behind Rossi. He's dropped back behind Danny Pedrosa. Well, we said, would he throw caution to the wind? Well, he did, and it's backfired.
Here they are at Stoke corner. He's just too fast. He nearly hit Cal Crutchlow.
That's why, yeah, it was nearly elbow to elbow, and all he's doing is going to the car park, and that is podium over for Marc Marquez, surely.
Well, as you so rightly say, Mark, full marks to this man. Maverick Vinales, what a ride on the Suzuki, but a fiercer battle as we've seen all season for second place.
Brilliant action. Marc Marquez, well, he said all year long, if he hasn't been able to win the races, he'll quite happily settle for the points. Oh, dearie me. He's not been...
Is that settling for the points?
This has been Marc Marquez in all-out attack mode right from the get-go here. It's been absolutely sensational to watch the number 93 at work here in this British Grand Prix.
He's trying to get past his teammate Danny Pedrosa now, down at Brooklands corner. He's all over his rear wheel. He just doesn't know the meaning of the word, does he? Take it carefully, just pick up the World Championship points. We thought he did, but he doesn't. Through Woodcote they come, right on the rear wheel. Vinales has crossed the line already. Crutchlow in second place, Valentino Rossi third.
Yeah, Marquez will be kicking himself. Maverick Vinales then on the final lap. History beckons for the Suzuki rider. What a year it's been for the MotoGP World Championship as Marc Marquez tries to fight back through on Danny Pedrosa. Marquez back up to fourth. What a year for the MotoGP World Championship. 7 different winners we're about to be seeing with Maverick Vinales at the front. We could have 4 first-time winners in the last 5 Grand Prix here in MotoGP. Brilliant stuff.
Well, he was the star of the future. He's now the star of today. Davide Brivio can't.
His girlfriend cannot watch.
She's given up watching.
Yeah.
She's just looking through her fingers, isn't she?
She's got no fingernails left, that's for sure.
Down at club corner. Crutchlow now looks pretty safe in second place with Valentino Rossi third. Marquez in fourth place, but Marquez was up in the second place.
Oh,
she can't look. The girlfriend is just hoping and praying. He's got half a lap to go here at Silverstone. He's into the Abbey curve. Crutchlow and Rossi are now there. Marc Marquez and Dani Pedrosa.
Take nothing away from Cal Crutchlow as well, Nick. It's been a brilliant ride from him to score a second successive podium. He's had some real miserable moments on home soil in the British Grand Prix as Cal Crutchlow, but he's putting all those behind him as Maverick Vinales, he comes through the loop. He has a good glance at the big screen there. Maverick Vinales edging ever closer to Suzuki's first victory since Le Mans in 2007. He comes down the Wellington Straight. The Suzuki fans are in jubilant mood. Maverick Vinales, he's been MotoGP's top gun today.
Cal Crutchlow in second place, but now all eyes will turn to the 21-year-old Spaniard. His premier class maiden victory, Suzuki's first win since 2007. Maverick Vinales wins here at Silverstone.
Brilliant ride by Maverick Vinales. Cal Crutchlow takes a phenomenal second place. Valentino Rossi third. Marquez did find his way back into fourth place. What a ride by the Spaniard. He was all action throughout that 19-lap race. Dani Pedrosa fifth. Andrea Dovizioso in sixth place. Aleix Espargaro was seventh. That 1 second penalty won't alter his position. Jorge Lorenzo back in eighth.
Dano Petrucci crossing the line in ninth place. Just 9 riders across the line as we stand at the moment. Alvaro Bautista in 10th place.
There's Aleix Espargaro. Great to see him congratulating his teammate Maverick Vinales.
Yeah, Yoni Hernandez 11, Eugene Laverty 12. Alex Lowe's in 13th place, Hector Barbara 14th, and in 15th place Tito Rabat and Jack Miller in 16th place. And I think Scott Redding may still be going despite these 2 crashes and should finish 17th.
There you go, confirmation. Chris Vermeulen, the last Suzuki MotoGP winner back in 2007. Well, that long run's ended. How many long barren runs are being ended at the moment? Ducati winning their first race in 6 years, a British rider winning for the first time in 35 years in Brno, and now Maverick Vinales, Suzuki's first winner in 9 years, and Cal Crutchlow, he looks almost as happy with that second place as he did with the win in Brno a couple of weeks ago, because that was a brilliant ride by Crutchlow.
Well, he fought off Marc Marquez, he fought off Valentino Rossi, he fought off Andrea Iannone. Superb stuff. There is his wife, Lucy. Brilliant stuff from Crutchlow. Boy, has his season turned on its head after so many disappointments. Valentino Rossi in third place. Going to shake hands with Cal Crutchlow.
I wouldn't leave it too long for Cal Crutchlow to have a second baby the way he's been performing since he had his first one.
Yeah. I'm sure Rossi is pleased to be on the podium. He will be happy to finish in front of Marc Marquez. Will close a few points as far as the World Championship can go. But nobody who witnessed that about half a lap of pure mayhem between Rossi and Marquez. If you think they like each other, if you think they're not bitter rivals, just watch that footage.
That was just fantastic. Maverick Vinales, well,
I remember when he first came here and he took pole position. I think it may have been a 125 race, it being a Moto 3. He could not speak a word of English, and he came to me because I was doing the press conference and I had to write the questions and the answers out for him. Now he is a MotoGP star. He is a world champion in the making.
Yeah, what a day for Suzuki as well. Of course, they left the World Championship at the end of 2011 to take a sabbatical for 3 years. Many felt that, well, some felt that they would never come back. Some felt that when they did come back, they certainly wouldn't be in a position this early to be fighting for race wins. There's Valentino Rossi. He's taken 3 points out of Marc Marquez, so no big dent in Marquez's championship prospects. Great double wheelie from Rossi and Crutchlow down the international pit straight.